What's up everyone, this is Dave LeClaire with MakeUseOf.com, and today we're going to take a look at some fan-made Pokemon games, 8 of them in fact. So if you can't get enough Pokemon, these are the games for you. So the first game we're going to look at is Pokemon Insurgence, which might be one of the coolest Pokemon fan-made games ever released. Somehow it has not been removed by Nintendo yet. It is still available and it is definitely worth downloading. It has an entirely new region for you to play in that is not in any of the other Pokemon games. It has Delta Pokemon, which is like a whole new spin on the Pokemon that you already know. Mega Evolutions, it has online trading, it has challenge modes, it has multiple difficulty levels, so if you want to just kind of take it easy and experience the story of the game, you can do that. If you want to really have a game kick your butt, it will do that as well. The other thing that really makes Insurgence stand out is that it has a really deep end game. So once you get past the Elite Four and you think you're done with the game, there's tons more stuff to do, so you can really play this game for a very, very long time. So definitely download it, definitely play it, it's definitely worthwhile. Let's go to the next one. Second game is Pokemon Light Platinum, which is a remake and a ROM hack of Pokemon Ruby. Generally, it's touted as one of the most complete remakes of any of the Pokemon games out there, so if you're looking for one that has been really done to the T, this is one you're going to want to play. This game has a new region, new leaders, new Elite Four to play through, so it's not just a straight up remake of Ruby. It's going to be like experiencing a whole new Pokemon game when you play it, which is really, really awesome. And it just has a lot of depth to it. So if you're kind of looking for something that feels comfortable for Pokemon fans, but that still has some pretty substantial changes, this might be the one to play. Game number 3 is Ash Gray, which, I don't know, for some reason I like the name, but once you understand what the game is, you'll really understand why it's called Ash Gray. This is actually based around the story of the anime. So rather than being your standard Pokemon adventure that you played in every other game, this one actually follows Ash's journey as he goes through what he went through in the anime, and it goes all the way up to episode 50. So there's a lot of content here, a lot of story, and if you're a fan of the Pokemon TV show, this is definitely the game for you. And it's a remake of Fire Red, so if that's the era of Pokemon that you have the most nostalgia for, this is definitely the game that you want to have installed on your emulator and that you want to play, because you will definitely get a lot out of it. Do you like Dark Souls? Because if you do, you're going to like Pokemon Dark Rising. This is basically the Pokemon game for masochists. It's super, 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 super hard. So if you're looking for, that game where you're not just easily going through, because let's be honest, the core Pokemon games are not super difficult unless you get into the hardcore stuff. Just playing through the story is pretty easy. This one flips that all on his head and it will kill you like before you even get to the first gym. You will lose all your Pokemon multiple times. It does help you out by letting you start with all dragon Pokemon, which gives you a little bit of a leg up and makes it easier, but don't let that make you think it's easy, because it is not easy. This game is going to kick your seriously though, if you want to play Dark Souls, but you want it to be Pokemon and you want them to come together in some type of deranged masochistic hybrid, you want to play this one. All right, number 5 is Pokemon Godra. And this game is quite different from your standard Pokemon game in that it basically throws out the core mechanics of catching Pokemon, leveling up, and trying to get to the Elite Four. And instead it actually is more a traditional RPG where you level up the trainer. You go out and you get one of many different jobs in the game world, and then you actually level up the Pokemon trainer rather than focus on catching and leveling Pokemon. So it's basically not a Pokemon game if you really think about it. It's a Pokemon game in name only, but it's its own thing. So if you want to kind of get it in the Pokemon universe vaguely, but you don't want that same old, because let's be honest, we've been playing this since like the 90s. You might want to check out Pokemon Godra because it seems pretty damn cool. All right, so for our 6th game, we're going to look at Pokemon Reborn, which is actually quite a bit different because it is not a ROM hack or a remake of an existing Pokemon game, but instead it is a game made with RPG Maker to be its own thing. So what that gets you is a game with more modern looking visuals. It doesn't look like a Game Boy Advance game or a Game Boy game. It looks like a game made with RPG Maker with modern sensibilities, modern sprites, and all that stuff. So if you want something that kind of looks more like a Pokemon on the Switch, this is going to be closer to that if you're looking for that type of experience and you don't want that old school graphics. Let's say maybe you're younger and you don't have nostalgia for the old Pokemon games, but you want to experience what they were like. This is a good way to go. A big change to this one comes from the story structure. Rather than your standard play through all the gyms, go to the Elite Four, it has its own type of story. It's still kind of similar to the traditional Pokemon formula, so you won't feel completely out of place here, but it is different enough that you will feel a little bit different, and it is pretty cool in that regard. A couple other things that are cool about this one is you can choose from all 21 starters up from Generation 7 back. So any of the starting Pokemon that were in the games, you can choose. You're not just limited to 3 like you traditionally are in the Pokemon game. And there's over 800 Pokemon in this thing to capture, so you will be busy playing this one for a long, long, long time. So next we have Pokemon Uranium, which is another one made with RPG Maker, and it is another one that is not just a remake of an existing Pokemon game. It is its own thing. It doesn't do too much different, so there's really not a lot that I can say about it in terms of like revolutionizing the Pokemon formula. It follows a pretty standard Pokemon formula, but it does look nice and it plays well, has a ton of Pokemon in it. And if you've played through everything else on the list and you're like, damn, I still need more Pokemon, you really could do worse than Uranium, so you might as well give it a shot and see if you like it. It is solid, it's well made, it's just not revolutionary like some of the other ones on the list. And we come to the final game on the list, number 8, and that is Pokemon 3D, which uses a pop-up 3D art style to represent Pokemon Gold and Silver. So it is a remake of those games, but it looks completely different because it's 3D. It follows your standard Pokemon formula, so you know you're going to level up your Pokemon, you're going to go to the gyms and blah, 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 you're going to beat the Elite Four. The novelty of this one comes from the look of it. So that's up to you to decide if that's something that you consider worth playing just to kind of get a different look and feel from the game, because it really is just a remake of an existing Pokemon game. But it does look really cool, so it's worth checking out, at least in that regard, even though it's not going to rewrite the book on what you think of as a Pokemon game. Thank you very much for watching this video. This is Dave LeClaire. We will have links to all of these games in the description so you can go download them. As of this recording, they're all still available, but who knows when Nintendo might decide to crack down and take them down. But for now, you can get them, so hurry, download them, play them, like, subscribe, tell your friends, do some other stuff that involves sharing on the social medias, and we'll see you guys in the next video.